Okay, so for tonight, I would like to paint you with some various smells. Some various smells. I have a collection of 6 aromas that are each unique with their different properties. And those properties can be considered medicinal for some. For some people, it can just be for leisure or enjoyment. Maybe for some people, it's something that they do to elevate certain experiences, as I have done in the past. And I would like to take you through it. So, before I start, I want to briefly make a statement about synesthesia. Synesthesia is when various sensory channels become overlapped in the mind. So, an auditory experience may become a bit mixed up with some people with an auditory or a visual or an olfactory or a tasting experience. So, for the first example, I have peppermint. And so, I consider it to be a cleansing smell, something that is cleansing. So, for a person who may experience synesthesia, the smell of peppermint may bring to mind certain colors, or maybe we can bring forth, if we dwell on it and we take it in. If you remember what the smell of peppermint is, maybe there are certain types of sounds that it may remind you of. So, I'm searching for my paintbrush. My paintbrush, which seems to have wandered. And I'm gonna go grab that. I have retrieved the paintbrush. I chose a round one so that it evenly collects the scent that I want to pick up and apply to you. So I have a plan to apply these various smells and aromas to certain parts of your body, if you will allow me to have that chance and that pleasure. Starting with the peppermint. I'm going to take a little bit. Take a little bit. And I'm going to apply it on the bridge of your nose. On the bridge of your nose. So let's get lined up here. Apply it right on the bridge of your nose. And I don't want to get close to your eyes because peppermint can cause a bit of mistiness. And good for when you have some congestion because it can allow the dripping, whatever needs to drip out, to flow. So it's good for that, and that's why I consider it to be a cleansing smell. Okay. Next is something that's very popular, and that's lavender. It's lavender. Now, people typically apply lavender to the inside of their wrists here, or even behind, this ear area. For tonight, or today, this evening, this afternoon, this morning, and wherever you are, I would like to put that right into the hollow of your throat, right there, right between your clavicles. So, breathing that in. Is there maybe a certain sound that you can call forward? For me, a sort of dry sound comes to mind. A rustling sound, maybe. Okay. Next up is geranium, and it is definitely a sharp smell. And for me, I like it for its sensitizing purposes. Sensitizing. And once I get this open, I immediately have saliva that I start to produce just taking a whiff of this. And that's because it's quite a strong smell. So I'm going to take a bit of it, and I'm going to put that right above your lips, right on your cupid's bow, right on the top of your lip. There. And also, right below your bottom lip, right there. And it is very sensitizing. You want to be careful not to. You want to be careful when you would like to start using these and you don't have the prior experience or knowledge, because different people have different tolerances and reactions to each of these. So, of course, allergy testing is always recommended. But people also use carrier oils. Geranium in particular can have a bit of a burning sensation, but not painful, I wouldn't say, which is why I consider it to be sensitizing. And just in this area, it can be a very pleasant experience, a very full experience. Your mouth is kind of like a bloom, after all, and geranium blooms. Next up is potentially a favorite of many people, and that is Jasmine. Jasmine, absolute. And it has kind of a heavy, cozy smell. I consider it to be loosening, a bit loosening, and it's nice for occasions when you might want to be more intimate with either yourself or another person. It's kind of a nice warm blanket. It's certainly a very full smell, it's a very round smell. Okay, and where am I going to put this? Where would I put this? I would like to put it right below your sternum, kind of at the top of your belly, kind of where your solar plexus might be. These bristles are very soft, so you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. You might feel a bit of tickling, right, right where your sternum ends, right where you want to take in that nice breath, and this is good to loosen up that area, perhaps. Loosen up that area, perhaps. Yes. Okay. Clove! Clove. It's a very happy smell. It's a sharp scent. It's spicy. It goes like right, like when you smell it, you can almost taste it. You can taste how sharp it is. I would like to apply this to the top of your forehead. Clove is known to have pain relieving properties. Pain relieving properties, and perhaps within 15 to 20 minutes, you may notice that. You may notice a bit of you might forget any tension you might be carrying or holding. And the clove actually really does work through the skin like that. When you apply it in an area like this is a very sensitive area, it travels, right? Through that chain of muscles. It travels. So clove might be quite an intense sensory experience for some people. I wonder if you were to smell it, take a whiff, what color you might associate it with, or what color families. If certain if a certain audio comes to your mind, is it low? Is it kind of sharp and high? For me, like I said, clove is a very happy smell, so I do kind of feel like it's up there. It's up there in that pitch range, that audio that may come to your mind. Last, I have Clary Sage. Clary Sage, and you can see here that the blooms are these pinkish, kind of pale, very pale. It's kind of like a, it's not, yeah, it's a bit purpley, but it airs on the side of pink. It's like a pale pink. Hmm. And it is very sweet. It's a sweet smell. And it reminds me of the smell of chocolate. I don't know if there were any other Cabbage Patch Girls out there, but it does kind of remind me of the smell of the Cabbage Patch face. If you know, then you know that the Cabbage Patches are scented, and it just kind of takes me back to some of those childhood memories that I had. So, where I want to put this for you is right in the corner of your shoulders, right at the tops of where your armpits go, right at the top of where your armpits go. And I consider Clary Sage to be more than anything, it's mentally sharpening and clarifying. But yeah, and so it'd be nice to bring your attention once you apply these things on the skin. Eventually, I think this is about where you might where your pits might be. Okay, so once it's applied on the skin, and you just let it sit there and you let it leave, what might happen is after a while, without even realizing it, your attention, your muscle memory gets drawn to that area, even without necessarily a topical experience. It's kind of something that soaks in. So, what I want to emphasize before closing out is that any of these should um, first you should first do a allergy test because you don't want to get a rash. So commonly people will do it in the inside of their arms, and then you can detect whether you have an allergy. If you apply it and it is too strong of a sensation, then there are carrier oils, and actually most people do use carrier oils. So things like coconut oil, for example. Coconut oil can be a nice carrier oil. And there are other alternatives if coconut oil happens to could potentially have an irritating reaction, especially on the face. I've experienced that before. Okay, okay. And let's take it in. Let's take it in. Each of those smells have their own benefits, have their own properties. And it's just amazing how our minds are so our brain is so integrated, and all of our organs, all of our sensory organs really do work together, and they're so near and tight and close with each other. So even though these are scents, they can ultimately become physical. They can become tasty. tasty, sensitizing, sensitizing. They can be invigorating or they can be relaxing. And every person is so unique. And there's just so many smells out there. And so many smells out there. Let's take it in. Let's take it in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. And you can release. And you can release it. So much tension. So much tightening. So much hyper focus that we use. It's such a nice distraction and a way to pull oneself away. And you don't even have to try. You don't even have to try.